Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Nelson Fojo, and in today's video I'm going to be solving the Cameroon GCE Advanced Level 2024 Computer Science subject code 0795. So to get the paper, get to the description below or visit website cameroongcerevision.com and download the paper. So this paper is structured in two sections. We have section A, which is database, and section B, programming. And it has a total of 2 hours. So we are going to be doing just section A today. Get your paper, get all the tools necessary, and let's start. Before starting, we are going to recall some important definitions, combination of short notes that will help you navigate through the paper. So let's just start. First definition, we have database, which is an organized collection of structured information or data, typically stored electronically in a computer system. Primary key is a unique identifier for each record in a table. Foreign key is a field in one table that references the primary key in another table. SQL query. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. Queries are commands used to retrieve, insert, update, and delete data from a table. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. It's a type of database management system that stores and organizes data in tables. AR diagram or Entity Relationship Diagram. It's a graphical representation of relationships between entities, bracket tables, in a database. Data consistency. This ensures that data is accurate, reliable, and consistent across the database. So now we're going to look at AR diagrams. To draw an AR diagram, the first thing you have to do is to represent your entities or your table names in rectangles, as you can see in the slide. Next, using ovals and some lines mapping to the ovals, put your attribute names, making sure that the attribute representing your primary key should be underlined. So entity 1 has as attributes attribute 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. The attributes of entity 2. So after drawing your entities and attributes, the next thing you need to relate them using this rhombus or kite, and put the relationship name in the rhombus. Then the cardinality between the two entities. The relationship is a one-to-many relationship. You do that. So let's look at a critical example. We're going to draw an AR diagram of a hospital management system. So we start with our entities. We have two tables, the doctor and the patient table. Next, we have the attributes of the doctor table, doctor ID, doctor name, patient ID. And in the patient table, we have as attribute patient ID, patient name, patient date of birth, patient illness. And as we can see in the doctor table, the primary key here is doctor ID, and in the patient table, the primary key is patient ID. Now, as relationship, the relationship that exists between the doctor and the patient is consult. Usually the words you put here can just be verbs. The verbs that can tell us what relates doctors to patients. It can be consult, it can be treat, or whatever. The relationship here, I chose it to be a one-to-many relationship, meaning one doctor consults many patients. Good. So that's it. We go to SQL queries. To create a database using SQL queries, here we are mostly dealing with SQL queries in Microsoft Access. That's the RDBMS we'll be working with. Use the query create database, exactly like that in capital. And here you put your database name ending with a semicolon. For example, create database school. The name of our database is school, and I end with semicolon. We are going to see that in the practical session. Next, let's create a table using the SQL queries. To create a table using SQL queries, you use the format create table, table name, then you open your colon. To create a table using an SQL query, use the format, the syntax create table, table name, open parenthesis, column name, the data type, the size, the condition, comma, Column name, data type, size, condition, comma, and so on. The last one does not have a comma because you are listing items within parentheses. You start and you end. Good. So you close your parentheses and you end it with a semicolon. Let's look at an example. Create table opposite. You open the parentheses. As attributes or as columns, we have student ID, data type varchar, meaning it will be a text of size 10, meaning the maximum number of characters this attribute could take, just 10 items. Next, condition is a primary key. So student ID here represents primary key. You put primary key, comma, student name varchar 50, not null, meaning this attribute can't accept null values. Student age is an integer. Student DOB, data type date. We close, we end, and we put our semicolon. Great. So let's continue. Using SQL queries still in Microsoft Access, we're going to look at how to select data from a table using SQL. To select all the fields in the table, the following syntax is used. The following query is used. We have select star from table name. Example, select star from opposite. When you execute this, it's going to give you an overview of everything found in the table opposite. So to select the field based on a particular condition, use this format: select column name from table name where condition. For example, select student age from opposite where student age is less than 18. This query is going to display all the students who are less than 18 years old from the table opposite. That's it. To learn more about SQL queries, go to the website www.w3schools.com/SQL. From there, you'll be able to learn more and exercise yourself. So we'll continue with our paper. That's it. We are diving directly into the paper 3, section A, database. Coming back here, we have the question starting here, section A, database, which is a football association database. Tax 1 says the database of a certain football association is structured as shown by tables below. The primary key of each relation is marked with an asterisk. Player ID, yeah, that means this is the primary key. Club ID, name, position, match played, goals. So you go through the table, you realize that each field has a data type and a size with some examples. Same thing for the club table. Club ID is our primary key. Coach ID is our primary key. Club ID, name, titles, nationality, age. Good. So in a relational database management system, RDBMS of a choice, help the football association to implement its database through the following actions. Question 1. Create the above tables using your RDBMS. Write the corresponding SQL code used for each table in the spaces provided below. So we are going to create those tables and write the SQL queries within the space. Okay, so that is given to be 6 marks. We are going to choose our RDBMS, which is Microsoft Access. We're going to create a blank database. The name of the database was not specified, so we are just going to call it the football. And we're going to create a new database that will represent the football. Great. So we are in the interface. First thing to do, being here, is to digitally look at our tables. First table we have to create is a player table with the fields player ID, club ID, name, position, match played, goals. So we are going to use an SQL query to do that. We come to create query design, and you go to SQL view. Player ID, data type text, so it's a varchar, size 6, and it is a primary key. Good. Put a comma. We go to the next. Club ID text 10. Club ID. This is not the primary key, so I'll say club ID varchar size 10. That's all. Yeah, no condition was given. We go to the next. Name text 30. Name varchar size 30. Next, position, which is a short integer. We say position small int. That's the data type for short integer. That's all. Next, match plate long integer. Match plate, we just put int here, comma for the next. Match plate number long integer goes number long integer. So this is the last attribute. Let's say goes int. So we are done. Close our parentheses and add a semicolon. So let's check it back. Create table, player ID, varchar 6, primary key, good, club ID, varchar 10, name, varchar 30, position small int, match plate int, goes int. Good. Now we just run the query. It has created our player table. We take this query, we copy it, and we fill this space. Just copy and fill the player space. Go to the club. We're going to create a new table. For that, you can just remove this unless they ask you to save the query. And they did not ask to save the query. Yeah, they did not ask to save the query. So I can remove it after copying. And I'm going to create a new table. Table club. So in the same way, we're going to say create table club, open parenthesis. First is club ID, which is our primary key. Club ID is a text of data of size 10. So we're going to say varchar bracket 10, and it is the primary key, comma. We go to the next, coach ID, text size 10. Coach ID, varchar size 10, comma. Next, the next is country, text 30. We're going to say country, varchar 20. Oh, it's 30. No titles, number, short integer. So we first correct this to 30. Then we add a new column, no titles, small int, number of titles. Yeah, they just say no titles, small ints, comma. Next, year creation date. Year creation date. Yeah, that's all. We close the parentheses, put our semicolon, cross check. Create table club ID varchar 10, primary key, coach ID varchar 10, country varchar 30, no titles, small int, year creation date. Good. We run the query. We have created a club table. Next, create table. So here, just again in time, we won't remove all. We create the last table. Table coach. Create table coach. Open parenthesis. The first one is surely coach ID, and it's a varchar of size coach ID varchar primary key text coach ID. This coach ID text 10. Okay, so size 10, comma. Next, after the coach ID, we have the club ID text 10. So we're going to put club ID varchar size 10. Next, coach ID is our primary key, so we have to put primary key here. Primary key. So we continue. After club ID, our next attribute will be name, a text of size 30. So we put name varchar size 30, comma. Next, nationality text titles small integer. So we'll say titles, int, small int, comma, nationality text 20, nationality, voucher 20, comma, our last attribute h, short integer. Let's put h, small int, close our parenthesis, we add a semicolon and we check. Create table coach ID, voucher 10 primary key, club ID, voucher 10, name, voucher 30, title, small int, nationality, voucher 20, h, small int. Run the query, we have created a table. So we just close this table 1 as is a default table that's always created by default as we open our MS Access. We close the query, we check the tables to be sure everything was well created, all the attributes put was clear, all the attributes clear. Yes, good. For the coach, good. For the player, good. So we are done with the first question. Move to the second question. Second question says draw an entity relationship diagram involving the three tables stated above. So the first thing we are going to do is we'll look at the table very well. While looking at the table, we just check who has the foreign key, and from there we'll identify the relationship easily. Here I'm seeing club ID. Club ID here. Club ID is a foreign key in the player table and the primary key here in the club table. So we have a relationship between the player and the club. Here I'm seeing coach ID, which is a foreign key in the club ID and the primary key in the coach table. So there's a relationship too between the club and the coach. So we're going to go to our section which asks us to draw an entity relationship diagram. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our entities. We have three entities involved here: the player, the club, and the coach. Next, we put all their different attributes. The player has as attributes player ID, club ID, name, position, match plate, and goals. Don't forget that the primary key should be underlined. Next, the club ID, coach ID, country, no titles, no titles, year creation. Coach H, nationality, titles, name, club ID, coach ID. Okay, now link name and write the name of the relationship. You see the relationship between a player and a club. You can say affiliate. Don't forget I said put action verbs. Player affiliated to a club, yeah, something like that. And the relationship that exists between a coach and a club can be managers. Good. So one club will be managed by many coaches and as well many players in one club. Don't forget your cardinalities at the end of your ER. So we are done with the entity relationship diagram. Come back to the question. That's basically 3 marks. We go to question 3. For each table in your database, add and save 5 rows of data consistent with their column entries. For each table in your database, add and save 5 rows of data consistent with your column entries. Okay, what I mean here is for each row, you're going to add 5 entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going down. 5 here, 5 here. Consistent in such a way that anything I put here should be found here. So we are not creating anything here. We have to respect the rule of data integrity. Good, that's 3 marks to populate our data. So guys, here you don't need to think too much, okay? I think they gave examples. Yeah, they gave some examples to guide us on how to bring out our examples. Yeah, it must not be specific. Like, must not be a real club, must not be a real name. And please avoid discarding your identity. So we're going to start with the player table. After populating your table, you just cross check it to be sure you have respected everything is okay. And for the player IDs, if you realize they're not the same players in the same club, as we have player ID here and club ID here, the club is different. If you look at the club IDs, there are different clubs, different clubs, meaning the players who come from different clubs. So the IDs could not be the same, like DA001, DA002. It doesn't matter here, okay? And don't waste your time here thinking, just be populating. Like here, don't come and say which name will I put, Don't think, just be writing. As you can see, the name must not even make sense, like just words here. And the positions, random. This is the part of database that if you waste time here, you won't have time to complete the section B. So that's it. Continue by populating the coach table. Good. So that said, we are done with the coach table. Our last table is a club table, and here we'll do a lot of copy and paste. Just go back to the player table, look for the club IDs. We just copy them and put them back here. You could see type in different orders, but gaining time, guys, gaining time. Good. So guys, we are done populating our tables. Club table, coach table, player table. Good. That was 3 marks for each table in your database. Add and save 5 rows of data consistent with their column entries. Done. 4. Print out a copy of the content of your tables. To do that, you need to screenshot your tables. So we are going to screenshot each part of our table. So we are going to okay, so to print out each content of the data of our table, we can just open one table after the other. You could just go to your Windows and type snipping tool. You open your snipping tool, put new, select the area of the table. The table should be visible. Then you then save it to the folder. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to write there to be printed. Inside it to be printed folder, I'm going to name this script for my first table. Save as PNG. Good. Save. So next, I'm going to open the coach table and close the club table. You can see call the snipping tool and do the same thing, but I prefer the shortcut which is pressing on the print screen. Yeah, but the problem is when you press on print screen, it goes directly to your pictures in your table. It is stored in a screenshot folder in the pictures file location in your computer. So we'll go snipping tools then. Snipping tool again. Press on plus. So after saving your club image, you close it, you open your coach table. You're going to go back to the snipping tool, and it's in the snipping tool that we're going to start again with a new screenshot for the coach table. I'm still going to save it in the same folder to be printed. Okay, this is club, so this is the coach. So you do that extremely fast, making sure that your files are organized for the examiner to be able to print. Snipping tool. You open the snipping tool, press on new, get a screenshot. Good. From the screenshot, press on the save button, and we call this player, and we save. So we are done with the screenshots and ready to be printed. Guys, this step is 1 mark, but it is very important to be sure that you're going to have these 3 marks. You must have this 1 mark. So print out your copy with the content of your tables. Good. So the last question is, second to the last, yeah. Question 5, which says in your RGBMS, create an SQL query that displays the names of players and their coaches who scored above 100 goals and played less than 80 matches. Also write below the query statements used. Your RGBMS, create an SQL query that displays the name of players and their coaches. Okay, so before creating such an SQL query, we need to relate the tables. To relate the tables, you go to database tools, click on relationships, add the 3 tables, and create a relationship. Good. To create a relationship, all I have to do is to match them, link the foreign key to their respective primary key. So I'm going to link this club ID to club ID here, and for that integrity, create the relationship. As you can see, 1 club, many coaches, as we saw, player to club. Okay, so you can just arrange it anyhow. This is the club ID here. Club, create. Good. So this is our relationship. After linking the tables and creating your relationship, this is the relational model as we had the entity relational model. You saw that. You saw for the entity part. You go to, after creating your relationship, to execute your SQL query, you go back to the create tab on the ribbon. You open the query design. We add the 3 tables. You can see the relationship is there. They're related. Good. So you're going to use a shortcut. You're going to use this tab here and generate the SQL query from there and copy to gain in time. So in your RGBMS, create an SQL query that displays the names of players and their coaches who scored above 100 goals. So we are displaying name of players and coach. Good. So you come here, the first thing is name of player, name. Next, name of coach. Good. So what are we displaying again? Who scored above 100 goals and played less than. So we are just displaying these 2 guys. And the condition is to have scored above 100 goals and played less than 80 matches. So we'll go to number of goals. Players. Number of goals. You open this. You are not displaying this because you're just putting a criteria here. So the criteria here is above 100 goals. And next is less than 20 matches. Match played. Good. Match played, I'm not displaying. say less than 80. After putting these two conditions, we're going to check back the question. Question says, in your RGBMS, create an SQL query that displays the name of the players and of their coaches who scored above 100 goals and played less than 80 matches. Above 400 goals, less than 80 matches. So that's correct. We run. Nothing is shown. Nothing is shown because you don't have a table like that. So we just go to the SQL query. You copy this. You just copy that. And you come here. Another method was to just start typing this before, but guys, there's no time for that. And the number of syntax errors you might get in writing such a code is, in fact, probability is high. So you use the second method, which is in the design view. Using this tab, just do as we did. When you put the tick, that means it should be shown. And when you don't on it and click on it, it won't be shown. But the criteria here was above 400 and less than 80. As we run the code, as you can see, there's nothing. So you copy that, you come and put here, and it says save the query as a file name of players and print a copy of the table it produced. Save the query as name of players and print a copy. So the query name will be name of players. Good. So we are going to save this name of players. Let's check that. Names of players. Good. Names of players. Okay, and the save should we should print a copy of what it produces. Snipping tools. We click on new. We select the names of players. And we save it in our folder to be printed. Okay, I'll just say names of players. Query. And I save it. Good. So guys, we are done. Yeah, we are done with the paper. You now just check back your work, but now there's no time. Just dive into the section B. And that's it, guys. Is the end. 1 like equals to 1 prayer, 1 share equals to 1 miracle, and 1 subscription equals to 1 blessing. So if you want one more video, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So see you soon. Peace. Allah. F9. Stop saying so, man. Stop saying so. Thanks for watching. Comments below for questions and suggestions. 1 like equals 1 player. You can contact us through our email to 37.nelco@gmail.com or join us in the Telegram group, telegram.me/Nelco Explains Computer Science. Here we're going to be sharing more resources and giving our announcements for the next videos, and we have our discussion panels here. So see you soon. Peace.